They say some roads never forget the people who died on them. Route 66 is one of those roads. Thousands of miles long, stretching through deserts, ghost towns, and forgotten cities. A road where time feels broken. And sometimes, so are the people who travel it. This story happened to me in Arizona. And after what I experienced, I will never answer a ringing phone at night again. My name is Ethan Walker, and 3 years ago, I was broke. College dropout, no savings, and a car that barely survived the desert heat. That's when I saw the ad. Night guard required. Route 66 motel. No experience needed. Cash payment. The motel was supposed to be closed. Everyone in town knew that. But desperation makes you ignore warnings. The motel stood alone, a few miles away from the nearest gas station, with a flickering neon vacancy sign that buzzed like a dying insect. The owner never met me in person. He left the keys in the mailbox, and a note that said, "Just watch the place. Don't let anyone in after midnight." That line bothered me, because who would even come here? My first shift started at 9 p.m. Inside, the motel smelled like dust, old carpet, and something metallic. The lobby lights were dim, and the front desk phone looked ancient. Yellow buttons, cracked receiver, and no caller ID. Rooms were empty. Parking lot was empty. The highway outside was silent. At exactly 12 a.m., the wind outside stopped. No cars, no insects, no sound. That's when the phone rang. The ring was loud. Too loud for such a quiet place. I stared at the phone for a full 10 seconds before picking it up. "Route 66 motel," I said. My voice echoed in the empty lobby. A man replied, calm and polite. "Hi, I'd like to check in. Room 6, please." My stomach tightened. "Sir," I said, "we're closed." There was a pause. Then the man chuckled softly. "That's strange. I'm already here." The line went dead. At that exact moment, the lights in the hallway flickered. I told myself it was stress. Old wiring. Nothing more. Still, I grabbed a flashlight and walked down the hallway. Room 6 was at the far end. The door was slightly open. Inside, the room was clean. Too clean. The bed was perfectly made. The TV was off. But on the nightstand was a guest register card. Name, Thomas Reed. Check-in date, June 14th, 1987. I googled the name on my phone. The first result made my hands shake. Fatal car crash on Route 66 claims life of local man Thomas Reed. The phone rang again at 2:17 a.m. Then again at 3:02 a.m. Different voices. Different names. Same request. Room 9. Room 3. Room 12. Every name belonged to someone who died on Route 66. Some burned in car fires. Some disappeared in the desert. Some were never identified. By 4 a.m., every room light in the motel turned on by itself. I locked myself behind the front desk. That's when I noticed something in the mirror behind me. People standing in the hallway. Silent. Still. Watching their faces looked normal. Until they smiled. Their mouths opened too wide. Their eyes stayed empty. The phone rang again. This time, I answered. "Why are you calling?" I whispered. The voice replied, "Because you're the night guard, and someone has to answer." I found an old newspaper in the back office. Headline: Route 66 Motel Fire, 13 Dead. The fire happened in 1987, the same year as the guest names. The night guard back, then never unlocked the doors. Guests burned alive inside their rooms. Their last calls were unanswered. At 5:30 a.m., the figures started moving, slowly walking toward the lobby. I ran, out the front door, into my car. As I drove away, I looked in the rearview mirror. The motel was gone. No building, no sign, just an empty stretch of road. I quit that night, never went back. But sometimes, when I drive late on Route 66, my phone rings at 2:17 a.m. Unknown number. And I remember the rule written on that note. Don't let anyone in after midnight. Because some guests never checked out. Most people believe time moves in one direction forward. From yesterday to today to tomorrow. But sometimes time leaves messages. Not signs in dreams, not warnings written on walls. Voicemails. Cold. Digital. Impossible to misunderstand. This is not a story about a haunted phone. This is a story about what happens when your future self tries to save you and fails. My name is Daniel Harper. I woke up at 6:43 a.m., 17 minutes before my alarm. No nightmare. No noise, just that heavy feeling like someone had been standing in my room and quietly left. My phone screen was on. One missed notification. New voicemail. The timestamp didn't make sense. It said, recorded, tomorrow, 11:58 p.m. I stared at it, waiting for the phone to correct itself. It didn't. My thumb hovered. Something inside me already knew. This was a mistake. I pressed play. The voice on the voicemail was mine. Not calm, not sleepy, terrified, breathing uneven. Words rushed. If you're hearing this, listen carefully. Don't go to the lake tonight. I didn't listen, and now I don't know how much time I have left. There was a sound behind the voice. Water, wind, then silence. The voicemail ended. My phone vibrated once and the message deleted itself. I tried to forget it. Phones glitch, brains imagine things. That's what I told myself, until the details started coming true. At 9:12 a.m., I spilled coffee on my shirt. At 12:03 p.m., the radio played the same song, mentioned in the voicemail. At 4:40 p.m., the traffic light on Main Street cracked and flickered, exactly as my voice had said. By sunset, I wasn't scared anymore. I was convinced. There's a lake outside town. I go there when I need quiet. I had gone there every Tuesday for 3 years. Routine feels safe. That's how it gets you. At 10:47 p.m., I parked my car. The lake was wrong. No insects. No wind. The water was perfectly still, like something holding its breath. My phone buzzed. Another voicemail. Timestamp, 2 minutes from now. I played it. My voice again. Quieter now. Almost resigned. He's standing behind you. Don't turn around. He doesn't have a face yet, but he's learning yours. I felt it then. Not breath. Not touch. Awareness. Like being looked at by something that didn't blink. I opened my phone, hit record. My hands were steady now. I knew what came next. If you're listening to this, you probably think you still have time. You don't. When you reach the lake, don't look at the water. I sent it. Timestamped. Tomorrow. Behind me. The water finally moved. If your phone ever receives a voicemail from a time that hasn't happened yet, don't ignore it. Because time doesn't warn people. It replaces them.